We all know that if we don't care about a certain objective, then we won't push ourselves to achieve it. But what a lot of people don't realize is that over-attaching to outcomes can also greatly hinder our performance. So when it comes to attaching to outcomes, we have to find a happy balance in order to perform at our highest levels. So I've put together a model of outcome attachment, and it has 5 levels. The first level is amotivation, which means you're not motivated at all. You're not attached to the outcome at all in any way. You don't care about it, and therefore the result is no performance. The second level is interest. So at that level, you say, it would be nice to achieve this, but your attachment to the outcome is pretty weak. So you're not willing to pay the price and to put in everything that's required to get that outcome. So for example, maybe you want to start a business, like it sounds interesting to you. You think it would be nice to get that business going. So maybe you do some research, decide on something, maybe even start moving forward with it. But right when things get hard or scary, you quit because you're just not attached enough to pay that price. Okay, level number 3 is desire. So at this point, you're saying, I want to achieve this. Notice the difference here. The previous one was, it would be nice. This level is, I want to achieve this. So it's a little more assertive, and at this level, this is where more dedicated effort begins. So this is where you are committed and you're putting in some time, you're putting in effort, you're putting in energy, you're doing what's required, and you're seeing decent success. But at the same time, you aren't fully dedicated to your highest possible levels of performance. And therefore, the result is average performance. So in your business, you're doing what it takes, you're doing what's required of you, but in a lot of ways, you're just kind of going through the motions and you aren't pushing yourself to your highest possible levels. And therefore, your business may be okay, but it's not as good as it could possibly be. Okay, level number 4 is passion. At this level, you say, I would love to achieve this, and I will do everything reasonably within my power to achieve this. This is the level where high performance happens. At this level, you put in everything of yourself. You actively and intentionally maximize your performance in every possible way because your goal has turned into a mission. So going along with that business example, this is where you're giving it absolutely everything, not just saying, how can I bring in X number of revenue in a month to get by? It's how can I make this business as thriving and as successful as possible? So that's passion, and that's where high performance happens. But attachment to outcomes doesn't stop there. There's one more level. Level 5 is desperation. And at this level, this is where you say, if this outcome doesn't happen, if I don't achieve this objective, I will be miserable. I will be devastated. And at this level of attachment, your performance tanks. It goes down so hard because this is where you put tons of pressure on yourself and you end up defeating yourself. So at this level, you typically start to focus on what could go wrong and how horrible that would be, and you end up just driving yourself into a downward spiral. So we can't possibly perform at our highest levels when we are in level 5 of attachment, when we're in desperation mode. And most people spend the majority of their time in either level 3 or level 5. And again, 3 is desire. So a lot of times people are just in kind of going through the motions, doing what's required, but not necessarily pushing themselves as hard as they possibly can to achieve the most they can. Or they're in level 5, where they're just focusing on everything that could possibly go wrong and how horrible that would be if they don't achieve this. And that might sound a little extreme to you, but if you think about it, if you really reflect on how you personally relate to outcomes, you'll probably realize that you fall into desperation mode pretty often. I know I do. It's actually a very natural thing. For example, if your mind goes to, if I don't win today, I will be miserable, you're in desperation mode. Or if your mind is at, if I don't hit my sales quota, then my boss won't respect me, I might lose my job, that's when you're in desperation mode. And you cannot possibly perform at your highest levels when you are in that state. So again, we have to find a happy balance. When you're at A motivation, your performance is down here. It's 0. And then the next level, it goes up. When you're interested, you maybe have some low levels of performance. And then at desire, it goes up even more. You're performing pretty well. And then at passion, it's booming. It's way up here. And then at desperation, boom, it plummets. It goes way down and you start performing horribly, or at least not even close to your full potential. So I just want to invite you all to consider this, to chew on this, and to think about, when am I in these different levels? How much of the time do I spend in each of these 5 levels? And what could I do to get into passion, but without being desperate and without attaching all of my happiness to the outcome? The key with this is to focus on what you have control over and have passion in that. And when you can focus on that, you're also able to have peace then with whatever comes your way. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Go have a high-performing day.